what's going on at y'all schools? Anybody? So y'all have excellent schools. There's just no problems. Everything's all good. Come on, I know you know something.
2011.
So 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you don't know. More than likely, they
More than likely, yeah. They took him in.
yeah.
Yeah, because I had after that I just seen him handcuffs going inside.
So let me ask you this: this young man, it seemed like he had it all, right? He's in college. Probably his parents are paying for it. He has food. He has shelter. He has education. I don't know if he had a car or anything, and maybe you guys he had a car. So why? I don't know. You tell me why. What's the temptation? Why rob a guy of a pizza and take his car and take his cell phone and keys and all that?
You know, sometimes I feel like when people, how us as men think, this is how I feel. But how us men think, we just go by doing and not thinking. We don't think before we do. Like how people say think before you speak. We don't think before we do. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this because I need some money.
So jump people is basically when to get into the game, you would have to either commit a crime or get beat up by the gang to be able to get into the gang. It's like a initiation kind of deal that you go. So they asked you to be in a gang too?
No.
But they didn't. They asked your friend.
Yes, because like they made groups on Kick and they added me into the group.
Wow. What made you not want to be a part of the gang?
Because I didn't want to get in trouble with my mom.
You want to trouble your mom? That's a good one. Anything else?
What I want you to do, this is how you put the handcuff in there and it's clip on, right? All right.
You got a key?
Yeah. Make sure you talking the rest of it like this. You know? Now, we're just going to practice. Now, handcuff me. I'm going to let you. Just handcuff me. Can you guys see? You got to do it. Put this, when I put my hand, this right here, and it's going to go, and then it's going to go in. All right. There you go. All right. Okay. Ken, I'll probably have you take them off. Don't?
I want y'all to look at this.
Yeah.
On a scene where, tension is high, that's too long.
That's true.
Somebody gonna get hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Get to the scene. And I'm just standing here, all right? So you go to handcuff me, and you guys want to kind of help. You can help detain me, yeah. But we don't want to, because society, you got cameras here, right? So you got to be rough with me, right? Right? So because I'm not gonna fight you or anything like that, but I just want you to put the handcuffs on, all right? So you get to the scene. Come on. What's going on? What do I do? Okay, I'm gonna put my hands on my back. He's gonna handcuff me in the front. He's gonna handcuff me.
Sir, we had a citizen tell us that you were selling dope.
But I was just, wait a minute, but I was just standing.
What'd he do? What y'all arresting him for?
I was just standing. Hey, Chris, tell him I wasn't doing nothing,
He
man.
was just standing there. He wasn't doing nothing.
I wasn't doing
Calm
nothing.
down, sir.
I wasn't doing nothing.
What y'all messing with
You
him
caught me
for?
already.
Yes,
What y'all messing with him
But hold
for?
on, what I do?
Hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah. What I do?
He wasn't doing nothing. Why y'all messing with him? Why y'all messing with him? He wasn't doing nothing. We got him right here on tape. He
I'm
wasn't
just
doing
standing
nothing.
here. Being violent?
yes, he's gonna be an extra 5 years.
Do y'all think I'm being violent, my crew? Am I being violent?
Man, he just standing there.
I'm just standing
here.
When we face a situation like that, a lot of times you'll see on the media and on the news where you have a guy and officers, they come and they, get the, because it's tough to put these things on somebody, right? And all that time while y'all were talking and y'all trying to get me to get in these handcuffs, I could have ran. I could have pulled out a gun on you guys. I could have pulled out a knife. It's happened before. And you see, tell them how difficult it was to put the handcuffs on.
It's very difficult, 100% difficult. Can't move.
They're trying to handcuff this guy, and they're struggling. Then you'll see maybe
2 or 3 officers take this guy to the ground. And then people saying, ooh, look at that, Black Lives Matter. No. Black lives does matter, but the key here is to get the situation under control as soon as possible with nobody getting hurt.
Right.
And if it takes 2 or 3 of us to put you on the ground, get your handcuffed, nothing wrong with that.
Not listening and doing what you want to do and running and just resisting, then now you're vulnerable to have charges put on you for no reason, you know? We get that a lot in the cars. When you got kids, we did the scenario where, you know, we have a driver who stole a car, and he tells his buddy, hey, you know, come in and get a ride. I got a new ride, which they should know that this guy doesn't work and, you know, he shouldn't have a car, brand new Lexus. But they get in the car with him. Now, more than likely, the passengers won't be charged for that stolen car. It would be the driver. But when they stop, or on the way when the police gets behind them, there's, oh man, this car's stolen. And so then we all bail and they all run. So now they're charged with evading. So, you know, that we face that a lot.
Before I got out the car, he jumped out, I want justice, not just us. I made him get back in the car, and at that point, it was just a traffic stop. And at that point, I tried to, and I ain't gonna lie, I tried to find everything I could write because he was ignorant. Next scenario, I had an old lady, this was in the A-Leaf area. She ran every red light from Bissonnette and 59 to Bissonnette and Dairy Ashland. And when I finally got my coworkers to get to the point where we could block her in and got out of the car, do you know what this lady said? The night before that, in some city, a black officer had raped a woman on a traffic stop. She said, well, I was scared because I saw that you was black. I figured you was gonna rape me. Yeah, she was white. Now, here's the question to you. On the first scenario with the I want justice, not just us, did he go to jail?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Did you say it first?
No. On the second scenario, did this woman go to jail?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Everything is not black and white. You've got to look at the situation for what it is. This woman was in fear of her life. And I understood it. She didn't live too far from where we finally got her stopped. I escorted her home. End of story.
Faces this kind of situation every day. So I want to ask him this, from a principal's perspective, what is the most challenging problem that our young folk are facing at your level of education?
Good morning. I want to give you a little background about myself. I've been in education for about 25 years, been in administration for over 16 years. I taught for about 7 to 8 years. And I just got to point this out. I'm from the north side of Houston, graduated from Smiley High School, was a principal at Forest Brook. And now I'm currently in Spring. And so I've worked at elementary, middle, and high school. And the most disturbing thing is when I see our African-American males on the campuses. I mean, education is not valued. When the last time, and this question to you, when the last time you read a book? What was the book that you read? A lot of it is about athletics, about rapping, and there's no respect for educators. I'm at a school now, a suburban school district. When I was at Forest Brook, all African-American. For some reason, when you get a lot of African-American kids conjugated in one school, you have problems. And so the parents that make money, they want to move their kids out to suburban schools, to the Pearlands, because they don't want their kids They be involved with gang banging, with violence. They want their kid to be safe. As a parent, when you drop your kid off to school, you want to make sure your child is safe, and you want to make sure your child is getting a good education. But what I've found over my 25 years is that when you congregate a large amount of African American kids in one school, it's not safe. At the suburban school I work at now, the African American population is about 24%, but 99% of the discipline problems are African Americans. And so, where do we go from there? But it's not, for me, it's not a whole school. It's like I just have to deal with that 25%. And then the question, it's like what the gentleman said back here, it's the parenting. It's just some terrible parents out there. I have Caucasian white kids, I have Hispanic kids, I have Asian kids, I have Indian kids, people from all over the world go to that school. But 99% of the district problems are African American males at that particular campus. And it's just like a total disrespect for authority. And for me, I look at young adults, like this young man here, young adult. We as a community have to come together because we're falling behind. We talk about education. Yes, college is not for everyone. If I wasn't educated, I would want to be a builder, how to build this building here, because there's a lot of money in that. So we have to support our community and give them various avenues to support themselves. I was taught, my family taught me a man's responsibility is to protect his family, provide for his family, and be the spiritual leader in his family. And that's why you have to have support, parents, grandparents. You have to support your kids your entire life. I wouldn't have been educated, but this is what the Lord put me in education to make a difference in the youth lives, because we're losing our African American males. And without our African American males in the community, we're going to fail. When my mom grew up in the 60s, education was important. That was the bloodline of the African American community. Now we've gotten away from that, and we're struggling. So how, to answer your question, our churches, I know at our church, Pentecostal, the pastor has power hour on the third Saturday of each month. I think it's a great idea because it's preparing the youth on how to apply for colleges, how to apply for scholarships, how to apply for jobs so that they can be successful in life. Life is not about how much money you make, it's about how successful you are as a family person, as a man, and how you support your family.
A lot of young men have these criminal records.
Right.
They go out and get an apartment, they find out they got a criminal record, they get evicted.
Right.
They go and do job searches, try to get a job. They don't put it on the application, they get a job, then they do a background check, they got a record, we can't hire you. There is a process. The criminal record doesn't go away, but it can be sealed. Some can be expunged, but my point is that get with me after the meeting and I'll tell you about these brothers, that's what they do.
Here in America, and especially as blacks, Americans, we teach our kids to get a good education, and that's great, they should. And then we teach them that you get a good education so you can get you a good job. And that's good, and that's true. But Easterners do it, they're totally different. They tell their children, you go to school, get you a good education, so you can get you a good business. The decisions you make is going to determine what you are. And so let's be careful. We ought to be careful about making choices.
And thank God that you said that, is guys, don't let the circumstance, because I know everybody's not fortunate to have two parents to live in the best neighborhood, to go to the best schools. I know we're not fortunate in that. But use that as let me tell you, I'm a son, my father, my birth father has been in prison ever since I was probably maybe 4 or 5 years old. He's been in prison, was in the military, decided to do some bad stuff in the military, and even today, he's in the prison, right? And when I was your age, especially young guys, when I was your age, I was really angry. I was really, because my homeboys, they got their dad, they doing stuff with their daddy, and they going all different places, and they playing ball, and here I am, you know, without that. Thank God that he was with me from day one, because the Holy Spirit told me, he said, use your situation to be greater. You see how your daddy treated you? How he wasn't around, how he really didn't, I felt back then, didn't care for you, didn't do stuff for you. Now, you become as great as you can. So then when you have a son, or you have a daughter, you could be the totally opposite of that.
Right.
All that hurt that you had back in the day when you were angry and you were mad because your daddy didn't do all this for you, now you take that and you let that be a driving force for whenever you tired, it's Friday night, you don't feel like doing that study for that test. But you know you're going to do it because you want to make a good grade on it, because you want to make a pass the course so you can go to college or go to a trade school. When your homeboy is telling you, man, smoke this, drink this, let's go to the club, let's shoot it up, let's do this, and you say, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to put myself in a position to go to jail. When an old girl call you and say, hey, come over, my mom and dad not here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My mom and daddy not here. Come on over. You know it ain't, y'all not going to study the Bible, okay? Right? So avoid that.
Reverend Turner from the Progressive from the New Pleasant Grove Baptist Church.
I'm trying to hold on to the one church.
Yeah. Reverend Atkins probably wouldn't like that. So anyway, he's going to come and share with us.
First of all, I'm glad to be here and to hear all this taking place, and I like the fact that we have law enforcement education here. One of the things I've tried to do is to get involved with both. So I have a decent relationship with the principals there in the Fifth Ward area, Cashmere Gardens, and I'm a member of the Police and Clergy line over in Northeast with Faith. So I mentor one young man, and this started up through Police and Clergy lines. Officer Byrd challenged the ministers in our group to mentor a young man in middle school. We adopted Key Middle. And so it's been, just this school year, and I just use him as an example. All that you all have talked about, the law enforcement principal, he exhibits that. Has a mom that works hard, but the focus is pretty much just material. It's just, every week we talk is, well, Mom's gonna take me out to the mall this weekend, we're gonna get whatever, and so the focus is material. His dad, he knows his dad, they don't have a real close relationship, but, he's around every now and then. In school, the reason why I ended up being his mentor, because he was having trouble in school, respecting the teacher's authority and all of that. So even with this tough facade, he was acting crazy that morning because he looked on Instagram or something and he thought that his girlfriend broke up with him. And so he was acting crazy. He ready to fight people. He being shut without the teachers I go to. But there's a disconnect between the generations. And then like what was mentioned earlier, bridging that gap from the community and the church. And I think it's because, just from a pastoral perspective, we don't spend enough time doing this to build a relationship. The other thing I see, both law enforcement and Principal Lewis had brought it up. I used, I guess, the fancy word for what y'all know I'm trying to say, but the effeminization of our young men. And so, because you don't have, people talk about the quality of parenting and not having the men in the life, and even a lot of men now, my age, I'm about to be 39, or younger, that's father, and they was raised in the same type of situation, so they may not have had the best men in their life either. But what happens is you have a lot of young guys getting raised where, they are mommy's little man and that type of thing, and not really getting that butt kicking and discipline and responsibility, you know, that's needed. And so that's why when they get in trouble, they just feel like, well, you know, I don't gotta listen to you, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, or, you know, everything caters. And then that spills over when they get older, because now the woman that they get involved with, they expect that woman to cater to them, do everything and all of that. So we have a lot of challenges, but if I was to nail it down to what's a beginning point, that is finding one young guy, taking interest in him, and just be there for him, be a relationship with him, you know, because even young man I mentor, I never forget, you know, I was thinking I wasn't really making a breakthrough, where I got busy one week, I couldn't make it, you know. I show up the next week and he was like, where were you last week? You know, and I'm just thinking he just come to see me because they pretty much make him come see me. But I come to find out he looked forward to that time, you know, of being able to talk about what's going on and all that type of thing. The other reason I'm passionate about this is back to what you were saying. Our black men are in trouble, and as America becomes more diverse, if we don't just, you know, black folks, we loving people. And so we bring everybody under our umbrella. We want to stand up for everybody. And that's cool. The problem is these other groups we standing up for, they already united. They already going to be all right. We're the ones that still lag behind. So I'm very pointed on, I'm trying to help black men. But the opportunity the church have, our churches are still in the community. And so for those families who have been able to quote unquote do better, it is that job to bridge that gap. If you know more resources, you know more ways to help, that's the way you can give back to the community. I see, you know, the job these principals have, you know, trying to run these schools with disrespectful parents, and like you mentioned, not valuing education. And as churches, if we can do a better job coming together on things like this, we know how to pray. You know, we know how to do Bible lesson and preach, and that's right. We know that. That's right. We've got to show how that is, walk with these people through life and show them how, okay, not just how to pray, but as you're going through school, you know, how to pray your way through situations, how to pray your way through marital problems, how to pray your way through, you know, I got fired again because I got arrested.